Roll4Crit.com presents How to Play Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures Game in 5 parsecs or less or more. X-Wing is the tactical space combat game for 2 players that puts you in the middle of a genuine space dogfight, just like in that movie, Star Wars. Whoever destroys all their opponent's ships wins. Designed by Jay Little and published by Fantasy Flight. To start the game, each player joins up with either the Rebels or the Imperials. Then they choose a certain number of squad points, and each secretly selects which ships they'll be using based on the squad point numbers in the bottom right corner of each ship card. The ships can also equip certain upgrade cards and weapons. Or you can just use the ships recommended in the base game. Then you get to place your ships. You'll need an area of play that's 3 feet by 3 feet, and some things to indicate where your boundaries are. Players place their ships in order of their pilot skill level, which is this number here. They can go anywhere they want within range 1 of their side of the field. You'll know what range 1 is because you'll be measuring it with this range ruler. Nifty. Now we get to play. Each player will receive maneuver dials based on the ships they're using. At the start of each turn, both players will simultaneously rotate these dials to indicate how their ships will move that turn, then place them face down so that their opponent can't see it. Maneuvers are fairly straightforward. The numbers indicate their speed, and the arrows indicate the direction you want the ship to travel, either a straight, bank, turn, or Koyagrin turn, also known as a U-turn to normal people. If an arrow is red, that means it's a tough move to pull off and will give your ship a stress token. If it's green, then you'll actually lose a stress token. If your ship has a stress token on it, then you can't take any red maneuvers again or any actions until you get rid of it. Once both players are ready, they reveal their dials, again in pilot skill order from lowest to highest. If there are ever any turn order disputes, the Imperial player is typically given initiative. Now is where the maneuver templates come into play. First, find the template that matches the maneuver type chosen on your dial, based on its speed and direction. Then line it up with your ship carefully, pick the ship up, and place it at the other end. How simple. In the case of In the case of a U-turn, use a 1 maneuver template and simply place yourself on the other end backwards. Ships can pass over each other with no problem, but cannot overlap, having to move backwards if this would be the case. Ships that are touching each other cannot interact with each other during the rest of the turn. If your ship would move off of the declared battlefield, it's considered destroyed. After movement, a ship gets to take 1 action. The symbols on its card's action bar determine which actions are available to it. Here are your potential choices. Evade will get you an evade token. During that turn only, you may spend the token to cancel 1 damage roll done to you by your opponent during the combat phase of the game. Focus gets you a focus token, which you can spend on that turn only to change all focus symbol results on dice into damage results during combat. Barrel roll lets you do a barrel roll. Take the 1 maneuver piece, place it sideways, and jump your ship across it, making sure you're still touching it and facing the same direction. The target lock icon gets you a target lock token to place on 1 enemy ship within range, giving your own ship a blue token to indicate that it is in fact targeting. These tokens remain in play from round to round unless spent, or if the ship acquires a different target. Spending them lets you re-roll any number of attack dice during combat. Finally, there may be actions listed on individual cards you've acquired, or abilities on cards that don't say action, which means that you can do them once for free. And you can also pass, leaving your ship to do nothing. Finally, we get to the meat of the game, the killing each other part. In combat, each ship gets to make 1 attack, assuming it's able to. This is where our helpful friend, the range marker, comes into play. Line it up with these red or green indicators on your ship. Any enemy ships that fall within this area in any way are officially viable attack targets. You can also see their range level from you, either 1, 2, or 3. Roll a number of red dice determined by your ship's weapon value here, or use a secondary weapon if you have one. With the primary weapon, if the ship is within range 1, you get to roll an extra die. Then you can spend any tokens you acquired during the action phase as explained earlier. I'm sure you remember. The defending ship gets to roll defense dice equal to its agility value seen here. At range 3, the defender gets an extra die to roll and may also spend any of their tokens. Here's how the die symbols work. These explodey lines indicate a hit, and these explodey lines that aren't filled in indicate a critical hit. For each squiggly arrow that the defender rolled, they may remove 1 of these damage dice, starting with the non-critical hits if they're available. When a ship takes a hit, it loses 1 shield token for each damage symbol rolled against it. If it has no shield tokens, then it takes a damage card from the damage card stack. If there are as many damage cards on the ship as its hull value, seen here, the ship explodes and leaves the map. Normally, these damage cards are played face down and don't have any special properties, but if you take a critical damage without any shields, the cards go face up and have other nasty effects on your ship. After every ship that can attack does so, players pick up their dials and the next turn starts in the same way. In a typical game, the first player to destroy all of their opponent's ships is the winner. If you want to spice things up later, you can try missions which have different victory conditions, or obstacles such as asteroids, which change the way you can move and attack. In conclusion, dial, maneuver, attack, destroy, buy an expansion, buy 40 more expansions, start buying expansions on a weekly basis, mortgage your home, lose the love and respect of your peers, and have fun. That's X-Wing in a nutshell. Did you get all that?